So last week we started Siman Shin Kafret. We learned about taking medication on Shabbat. And at the end of the shiur, I don't remember who it was. Who was it who asked about vitamins on Shabbat? So then Danny asked about, can you take vitamins on Shabbat?
Supplements.
But supplements, yeah. Okay. So the answer, the simple answer will be, it's a machloket. It's a machloket. But we try to not keep things as, okay, the machloket, and what do you do? Go ask a rabbi. We want to.
Actually, you're taking every day,
right?
So you're allowed not to stop if you're taking something every day. You already went over that.
Yeah. For vitamins, nothing will happen if you skip one day, right? Nothing will happen. So we'll discuss today about taking vitamins on Shabbat. But maybe before we discuss the taking vitamins on Shabbat, we'll go back to the original halacha, or the original decree Gzera of Chazal about taking medication. So as we learned last week, and maybe we'll also get to one of the other categories of people who aren't feeling well. There are three categories of people who aren't feeling well. The easiest person, or the maybe hardest on halacha-wise, is someone who's feeling well. And the term in the halacha is, he has mechosh be'alma, some kind of, something's bothering him, some pain or something, but he is mitchazek veholech kebari. He's going and he's strong, and he can walk outside. That's one category, and that person, obviously, you can't do anything which is violating Shabbat. But not only you can't violate Shabbat for that a person like that, or he can't do for himself. Chazal said a person like that who's healthy, but just something is bothering him, he shouldn't take medication on Shabbat. And we'll soon explain a bit deeper why can't he take medication on Shabbat. The higher level is a person who isn't feeling well. He has a fever, he's in bed, he has a migraine, he has his sinuses are bothering him. And he's really in pain, or he's really sick. There's no danger. Nothing will happen if he doesn't take medication on Shabbat. For him, we can violate Shabbat asking a non-Jew to do things for him. And he can also take medication on Shabbat. So a person who is really suffering, although there's no danger at all, okay, nothing will happen to someone who has a migraine, he's not driving, so there's no concern he'll have a car accident, and if he is driving, so he's violating Shabbat, right? So the nothing will happen if he doesn't take medication on Shabbat, but since he's really in pain, or he's really not feeling well, he has a 39 degrees, he's in bed, he can take Tylenol on Shabbat.
Ruining his own Shabbat.
Yeah, he's ruining the only Shabbat, and he's also mitzvah. Many times Chazal, when they wanted to do something, they had a decree, they didn't do it in a case of mitzvah, when someone is suffering. Chazal didn't try to make us suffer. They wanted to make us grow spiritually as a private people and as a nation, but they didn't have intention to make people suffer. So a person like that, he can take medication on Shabbat. We said, well, sometimes a person has a headache, or he has a runny nose, and it's bothering him very, very much. And how do you know when's the border? And it's sometimes hard to decide. As I said, pain is something very subjective. Everyone feels pain differently. It's very emotional also. And Rav Eliezer Melamed in Pnei Halacha writes, if one is willing to walk a kilometer, or ask someone to walk a kilometer for him in order to get the medication, so obviously it's very important for him. If it's very important for you, obviously he's suffering and he can take medication on Shabbat.
If they judge it on something that's more connected to Shabbat, if the problem is Oneg Shabbat, like why couldn't the criteria be something along the lines of, I don't know, whether he's thinking more about his sickness than he is about the fact that it's Shabbat?
No, some people,
whether as opposed to walking a kilometer, which
so Rabbi Eliezer, it's very typical for him. Okay, he like I say, made up the kilometer. Try to think of someone who said, "I'll walk 900 meters." There are not. In the end, you have to give people an answer. and as a rabbi of a community, of a yeshiva, you need people today want a different answer, an exact answer, right? When you make challah, if you're not sure if you make challah, how much flour do you put in? In the past, it's about a cup. Is it my cup the same as your cup? No, you feel it, right? You feel it. Today, when I buy a cup, a measuring cup, and you buy a measuring cup, is it the same measurement? Exact measurement. Today we are very much, we want the exact definitions, right? So that's why Rabbi Eliezer gave the idea of a walking a kilometer, because it gives a feeling of exact. Because people don't know, okay, well, am I mitzvah? I'm not mitzvah. I don't know. No, my head is hurting a bit, but no. People want a bit more of a
subjective.
yeah, it's subjective.
A lot
Right.
of people like to walk.
Pain,
The longer they can walk, the better.
pain is subjective, right? Pain is subjective, and we can't change pain. I mean, we hope to cause pain disappear, but pain is subjective. Yeah, so you won't be able to give an objective, definite.
Pain is subjective, but it's more objective when you're thinking about how much does it really hurt me. Am I thinking about it more than I'm thinking about it on Shabbat?
Yeah, but some people maybe a bit more OCD questions, and that's why he gave that definition.
Okay.
It's not like a Torah Sinai. He tried to take the terms of halacha and put it in terms that you can measure it a bit more. Okay, so that's his idea. And we have the highest level, and that's someone who is in danger, or even if there's a question if he is in danger or not. And hopefully, we might also try to get to it today. And obviously, for him, someone who is in danger, you can be Mechalel Shabbat, with the exception that we'll try to first do light things on Shabbat. For example, if we can do something which is rabbinical, we'll try to do something which is rabbinical. And if we need to do something which is Doraita, so we'll do something which is Doraita. Okay? But if it postpones us, so we can just be Mechalel Shabbat for any case where there is a danger or even a question of a danger.
If someone is taking maintenance drugs, blood pressure, whatever, and it wouldn't hurt them to skip a day, should you take it on Shabbat or probably?
So blood pressure, first you have to ask a doctor, right? Can you skip a day? Many times the doctor will say, no, we want you to be regulated about it. You shouldn't skip a day. Yom Kippur once a year.
What's the Easter
skip
of taking medicine?
But so what's the Easter? We'll get very soon today. What's the Easter? We learned last week already that if someone's taking medication in a regular thing, for example, blood pressure, to make sure he doesn't have blood pressure, or he can continue taking on Shabbat, because he does have some kind of disease or sickness or whatever there is, or health issue that he needs to maintain. So it's there. It's not just someone who's healthy. He needs really to maintain his health, and he needs that. He can regulate his blood pressure by taking the medication. So a question we have, it's things about which aren't medication. Vitamins aren't medication. Ritalin, maybe something to prevent or to help pregnancies. So there's no health issues here or sickness. There's no disease or sickness here. It's very wide health issues, and maybe it falls in a category of people who are healthy and they just have some small thing which is bothering them, and they shouldn't take medication on Shabbat. But so that's we gave a bit a short review of last week, and before we go into the halacha, let's explain a bit more this decree of Chazal, why a person shouldn't take medication on Shabbat. And it's brought in the Gemara, and there's an argument between Rashi and the Rosh. Okay, Rashi and the Rosh have an argument. What's the reason for not taking medication on Shabbat? Rashi says, if people see me taking medication on Shabbat, in those days, people used to make their own medicines at home, mix up some herbs. So people might think that you are allowed to make and prepare medication on Shabbat. We think, okay, you can grind a few herbs. It's for someone who has a so small headache, you can grind herbs on Shabbat. The one thing, is there danger? No danger. As soon as they'll see a person who's more or less feeling well, and taking medication on Shabbat, they'll think, okay, no problem, you can take medication on Shabbat. That is Rashi. The Rosh says, and that's perhaps the decree which is similar to turning out fires on Shabbat, that a person is so much thinking and involved in his health, so he'll say, well, he'll start doing something which is permitted on Shabbat, and then from doing something which is permitted on Shabbat, he'll go already and do something which is forbidden on Shabbat. So maybe he'll start from, I don't know, taking vinegar and drinking vinegar with lemon juice, and then already he'll take a few leaves and grind them and take a candle and turn on the fire and warm up, because people are very much, as the word in Hebrew, behala, they're involved in the health, and maybe they'll start grinding things on Shabbat. That argument between Rashi and the Rosh might have some implement to us today. As we mentioned last week, there's an argument between the Achronim. Today, none of us makes medication at home. And if we do make it at home, we probably don't see it as something which is a medicine. We call it in Hebrew Trufot Savta. I'm not sure if there's a term for it in English. Trufot Savta has maybe a double meaning, the medicines from my grandmother. One is something that you can do at home, and maybe perhaps another meaning is it's not real medicine. It doesn't really cure you up. Like if someone has a virus, everyone knows that having chicken soup won't take the virus away. He'll just feel a bit better. Okay, but we don't see it as medicine. Okay, so maybe today we can be a bit more lenient, especially according to Rashi. So according to the Rosh, it says when a person he's so much involved about his health, so if someone isn't feeling sick, he's just he wants to take vitamins. If there's nothing here, something terrible happening, he's involved, he's emotional, isn't it? He just wants to take vitamins. Maybe that will be permitted. The Beit Yosef writes that, the Tur writes that a healthy person can eat and drink medication, things which are considered medicine, if he's hungry. So if now, although you can't take medication on Shabbat, but if there's a person who's healthy, he is healthy, he can take medication on Shabbat if he is hungry. The Beit Yosef understands it's not just if he's hungry, if he just wants to make himself stronger. So if he wants to make himself stronger, he is healthy, he can take medication on Shabbat. The decree of Chazal was only when a person isn't feeling well or has something which a bit of pain. But when a person is healthy, he's just taking iron, so I'm not sure, to make sure his iron stays on the right level. He's taking vitamins because he doesn't eat enough fruit and vegetables, and he needs, it's like food. So that holds the Beit Yosef. According to the Beit Yosef, there is no problem in taking vitamins on Shabbat, or everyone who is actually healthy, even if he's taking it for some health reasons, he can take medication on Shabbat. So according to the Beit Yosef, a woman, there's no problem if she wants to take folic acids, okay, or things to support a pregnancy or to prevent a pregnancy. She's a healthy woman. There's nothing here which is the health issue. A person can take medication on Shabbat, if vitamins and so on, if they are healthy. As we can guess, we can assume, usually if we have one opinion, we'll also have an argument. Okay, so we have the Magen Avraham. And the Magen Avraham holds that it's true. A healthy person can take medication, but only if it's like food. If he's now hungry. I'm not sure that today we don't have so many examples for it. Maybe I'll tell you an example. We have, I'm sure many of your grandchildren have, those candies that have vitamins in them. Now, some of the kids,
that's an oxymoron.
Okay, candy with vitamins in it. So from the kid's perspective, why is he eating the candy? It's candy. Why does the parent buy the candy? From the vitamins. To drink them. Yeah, it's the vitamins. Before the winter, they have all those things, and the canitzia, whatever it is, propolis, and things like that inside it.
Gummies,
the gummies. So if a child says, or even an adult, I'm hungry, I want something sweet. Can I eat this gummy on Shabbat? According to the Magen Avraham, yes, you can eat the gummy on Shabbat. But can you take something which is vitamin, not because you're hungry, not because you want to eat it, just because to make you better? That you can't take on Shabbat, according to the Magen Avraham.
What's the Lamatem Malacha that you're over?
So it's a rabbinical decree. It's a rabbinical decree. They said they were concerned that if people now start taking so much care about the body and they'll start preparing medicines on Shabbat, which is the two common things on Shabbat is cooking and tochen, grinding on Shabbat.
Okay, I understand.
Cooking also involves obviously turning on the fire and so on.
Right.
So that's the Magen Avraham. We won't go into all the details of the Magen Avraham, but many poskim take the Magen Avraham and make it a bit not so machmir, a bit more lenient, and they say that even the Magen Avraham, he holds that if a person he is strong, he is strong, he just wants to maintain his strength, so then he can take vitamins on Shabbat, because then it's viewed like just eating. Okay, so some of us eat an apple a day to keep the doctor away, and some of us take vitamins to keep the doctor away. But it's in the end, it's food.
Same vitamin C that goes in your.
Yeah, maybe perhaps a bit more, but it's the same thing. So I don't like oranges, I don't like peeling oranges, or whatever the reason is. So today people eat vitamins, they eat junk food, and then also they eat vitamins. So if a person is healthy and he just wants to maintain his health, then many poskim say that you can take vitamins on Shabbat. The argument, according to those poskim, between the Beit Yosef, who is more lenient, and the Magen Avraham, who's more machmir, will be in much narrower cases. A person who's perhaps a bit, he's already weak. He's weak. He's lacking vitamins. He's weak. So then maybe you can't call him a 100% healthy person. So here we have an argument between the Magen Avraham and the Beit Yosef. What do we do by halacha? So we have an argument between the Beit Yosef and the Magen Avraham. The Beit Yosef was before the Magen Avraham, but still we have an argument. Can a healthy person take medication on Shabbat? Is that a decree? Is it a rabbinical or from the Torah? Rabbinical, right? Rabbinical. What's the rule we have when we have a question, a safek, about the Torah law? Okay, so we are stringent. So we have something which is Torah law, we are stringent. What is the case when we have a question about a rabbinical law? So we will usually be lekula, especially here. It's not just the Beit Yosef. There's many other poskim who also hold like the Beit Yosef. So if you want to summarize it up, I saw an argument about taking vitamins on Shabbat. And some poskim will say, if you don't need it, don't take it on Shabbat, be like the Magen Avraham. But since we have many poskim, like also Rabbi Ovadia from our generations, Rabbi Ovadia and then Yosef, many other poskim say that if you want to take vitamins on Shabbat, so you can certainly be lenient and take vitamins on Shabbat, and that will be the same in the same category, not just for vitamins, but any other
sleeping medication.
Sleeping medication, if it's a healthy person. If it's a healthy person,
So
that you can take on Shabbat.
So
you can take sleep aids on Shabbat, right? According to those poskim. And here we add also the Beit Yosef, who says that if there's no disease or something which is bothering you, so you can take medication on Shabbat. Plus, we mentioned last week some poskim that hold that even if someone does have a bit of a headache or something, some poskim are lenient and say today who makes medicine in his house. So today we aren't concerned that people will start taking medicine. Oh, I took medicines, now start grinding cinnamon. So people today are more lenient, and therefore today certainly we can be lenient, especially when a person is healthy, just wants to take something to maintain his health or rather.
Try it.